Ma'am, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to be in touch with you. And as you know that our issue is going for ITB Asia, and you're one of the main person who represent India tourism. I mean, everybody knows tourism from your face today. So I want to ask you few questions that we can portray India to the outside world. So my first question is that you have had an inspiring journey in the tourism and hospitality industry. Could you share with us how you began with it?
Thank you, Suhani, for saying those lovely words. It's always a pleasure talking about tourism, and it's always a pleasure talking about India. And I think a lot needs to be done there. My story is not very inspiring, but I think it's just that I learned a lot in life. I joined my husband at a very young age of 19 when I didn't know what travel agents were and what tourism was. I didn't even know they were travel agents actually until I met him. And I used to always think, "Pata nahi टिकटें कहाँ से आती हैं, travel कहाँ से होता है?" But I think it was a wonderful journey when I met him, and he was one of the largest consolidators of this country. So his business was booming, and for me it was like more like a Bollywood walk-in. I came from Bombay, having friends in the Bollywood, and I came here and I found the industry very interesting. So I said, okay, it's an extension of my life, so it's fine. And then slowly and steadily I started, approaching and looking at what he has been doing and what he is doing, and I became a part of his life, of course. And then he was very vocal, he was very strong in the industry, a person every travel agent and every airline used to look up to him. So I think that's what inspired me, that I think, and he started doing a lot of things for the industry, and he became the president of Travel Agents Association of India in 2004. So it was, for me, he became my idol and saying, wow, if he can do it, why not I? And as I started getting involved in tourism more and more, I found there was so much that we were lacking. There was so much that could be done, and it had to be done selflessly. So it was not all about, that in the end it has to be very productive for me or something, but it was just that how I got involved, sharing my thoughts, sharing my ideas, and that's how I became very active in TAAI, and of course my journey started many years ago from the region, then to the management committee, and then being the president, and then longest service president of TAAI. For 5 years I stayed as the president. But it was a wonderful experience, and I think I would say the time when I took over was literally COVID time, most challenging time I think anyone has faced as a president. So, and we were able to achieve a lot in those 5 years. So I think that's what keeps me going and feeling very nice about giving back to the society.
Right, ma'am. So from your 19 years, when you were 19 years, you started, and today, what shaped your journey to be the chairperson of tourism and hospitality sector state council?
So when I looked at tourism and around tourism, and I felt the first experience always comes from someone who's skilled. It could be someone receiving you at the airport, or the railway station, or anywhere on the ship if the cruises were not there in India so much. But and the second person who you are in touch with is your transportation. And I used to always feel that the drivers should know much more, and the people who are receiving you at the airport should know much more. And if I just come down, I get into my car and I like to chat with my driver. He should be more like a tourist guide than just a cab driver. I think those things started making me feel that we are lacking a lot where soft skills are concerned, especially. And then when I started exploring more things and I started talking to people who were coming out from academies, who used to come to my office, being the largest consolidator, I used to get a lot of applications of jobs, and I felt they didn't know the subject well. They have done a course, but they've not done the subject well. And slowly and steadily, of course, I started doing things on my own, whatever little I could do. But when I became the TAAI president, before the TAAI president actually, when I came onto the management committee, this was the tourism and hospitality skill sector was formed. It was formed in 2014, and I got a call from one of the leading hotelier who saying, we need a woman, and you being very vocal, we want you there. And I joined it as a management, the governing body member representing TAAI. And that's how I got into it, and I just started getting involved, and now I've completed 5 years, this is my 6th year going forward, and I think I'm enjoying every part of it, not only as a person who's in the industry, but it's lovely going to the universities. THSC has MOU with maximum universities in this country. So we work with literally 110 universities in this country. Okay. So I keep going to different universities to talk to the children, to see what they want, how we can change. And of course, during COVID, we realized that all the old quality packs that we had as courses were redundant now, because COVID changed a lot of things. So we actually threw them all in the dustbin and got 70 more done. Okay. So, so anyway, so that's how I got involved in skilling, because I think tourism cannot happen unless you give experience to a traveler. And the traveler will only get the best experience if you have the best skilled people. So the backbone of this industry could be hotels, or it could be travel agents, or it could be cruise companies, or it could be even airlines. Everyone needs good staff, and staff that can actually do it. Yeah, working on the ground, even in back offices or anywhere, but the skills may be different and varying from department to department, but the soft skills remain the same. And actually, I think that also comes from our home. So, we have been taught as Aditi Deva Bhavo. For us, we've been we've all grown in our lives by our parents and our grandparents saying, guest aaya, tum abhi mat khao khana. We've seen that. We've all seen that. So, the guest comes first. अगर कोई गेस्ट आपके घर में unexpected आ जाता था, we were told you people have lunch or dinner later, because give the guest. So it's not everywhere in the world these things are taught,
Yeah.
So I think those things come because they are built into us. So who better than us, who Indians can actually welcome a guest to their own country or to their own hotels or to their own offices.
Right.
So I think that makes us change. But the soft skills we can't lose our strength and our culture. So I think that needs to be inculcated going forward to the young generation also.
So true, ma'am. Ma'am, looking back, what have been the most defining milestones in your career that continue to inspire your leadership today?
I just believe that tourism is something you have to be very passionate about, and that's the passion I have for tourism. It's not about anything else. I don't want to be on the television every day. I don't want to be in news every day. It doesn't matter to me. It just matters to me that I'm giving my best to the tourism, and I can share some my experiences, my thoughts, and something which is achievable. Because I don't want to talk big and do big. That never happens. You people who talk big, they don't drive anything much. I think you just need to start right at the lowest of levels and see what you can give back to tourism. So that's what keeps me going when I see things around me, things still not the right what I want. I think it just keeps inspiring and motivating me more and more, because you keep have to harping on a particular product or a way of life till the time you don't achieve. And change doesn't come so quickly. We're all used to our own ways. Everyone is used to their own ways. Every hotel is used to their own ways. But the changes will only come if we keep talking about it, we keep putting in our best. So I think the environment of tourism, the growth of tourism, new challenges of tourism, because it's an evolving aspect of life. Tourism is evolving every minute, every second. There are multiple changes, how to adapt to them. So that keeps inspiring and motivating me. How technology is coming in today, how tomorrow we don't know it's going to be AI. Of course, AI is already there. But how the human touch should remain. We will bring in all relevances of life. And that's what I said, that keeps inspiring me and motivating me to do more. Not only in our own country, I've been talking about regional tourism since quite a few years now. And I think regional tourism is another thing which we need to. See, countries are benefiting out of that. Look at the Schengen countries, they benefit. We are not talking about political, we're talking only about tourism. So how do we actually take our regional tourism beyond borders? And we learned that during COVID time that the borders grew much quicker. And there were no borders, we started, like Dubai, the footfalls really increased, the footfalls increased from Maldives. And we were the ones who took it there. I signed the first MOU as a travel agent president with Maldives, and we were working very closely with Dubai to see how tourism can keep floating there. And you see where we were the number one footfalls there. So we made them grow even in COVID time.
Today people say 80%.
Yeah. So I think those things are very important, and regional tourism should come in place. Okay, I agree. The countries we don't want to work with, we don't have to put them into our
right.
Yeah. So we are not so lucky to have the best countries around us, but whatever we have and whoever we have, we need to see how we can adopt them, and we need to work that. There is BIMSTEC, there is SCO. There are so many ASEAN countries. So how do we work together collectively? And let's not talk about regional tourism as regional only. We talk about everything in the vicinity of flying of a couple of hours. Say suppose 3 to 4 hours is what we are looking at, where we have short haul flights. Let's build them into our ecosystem and say how can tourism be one. We talk about in our country as ODOP, one district, one product. Why can't we talk about one region and say about one visa or whatever the restraints are, but ease of visa. We can talk about marketing together, we can talk about building websites together, we can talk about exchange of culture together, exchange of students together. So there is so much of a scope to do things together, and those are things we need to build in. Imagine an NRI who comes from America for 2 months of his holidays here. He does come to India to meet his parents, but he does need to get out also, because 2 months, he's seen India earlier also, but he wants a short break with his family who's living in India somewhere out. So he chooses a destination close by. There are so many who go to different countries, could be Thailand, could be Sri Lanka, could be Malaysia. So we need to build the structure that, okay, you come to India, visit a neighboring country and again go back. And you come back to India before you leave. So I think there's a huge scope of creating this wealth of culture and heritage and adventure picking up from all different countries to build that aspect. So I think that is something we need to do. So COVID or no COVID, geopolitical wars, anything, but we stay secure where tourism is concerned amongst ourselves. Because it's an extension of domestic tourism.
So I think really, that will change the whole perspective of.
I think so. Tourism needs to change. Tourism, there can't be a brick and mortar. Tourism can't be a fixed idea.
This makes me remind of something, that there are few neighboring countries who also look forward to exchange of other business platforms with us. For example, I've been to South Africa and they really want to send people here to get skilled.
Yes.
They said we can't get our people skilled the way you do.
No. So what about South Africa? Even countries like Indonesia and
Indonesia.
they look at a lot of people from our side. So because we can skill to the best, and also there is a lot of exchange that can happen when tourism is concerned. I keep saying that to many countries because I sit on various boards also. And I keep saying to those countries, if you have to welcome an Indian traveler, let your people be trained in the Indian aspects of life. Because he should also understand our culture, that there are a lot of people who won't eat garlic, there are a lot of people who won't eat ginger, they'll not be like, you're cooking in the kitchen, the same spoon is going to the non-veg and the veg. So there are certain things that need to be taken in consideration. Same way, when they come to our countries, we should know how to cater to them. So there has to be an exchange of all the education and skills, because I should know how anyone coming from Saudi should be welcomed. I should know their habits. I should know what food they don't eat. I should also know, more about their culture to make them happier, or any other country. So the exchange, their habits need to be taught to the people we are going to be here, welcoming them, and same way that side. So all this will only happen if there is a more synergy among us, more collaborations between us to say how we can actually develop tourism between our countries to make it come under one umbrella. And then, can you imagine, I don't have money for marketing, or I have a small amount, you all have a small amount, we all pool in that amount to make one wonderful website. And we give all information on that website to say, Incredible India has its own. Now, but if I have to go to Sri Lanka, I have to go to there. If I have to go to South Africa, I have to go to there. Suppose the countries within our range of travel 3 to 4 hours have one website, common website too. Or we have a portal which actually links their website to our website. But we say we are actually promoting the entire thing as one tourism. Look at the change, look at the footfalls that will come in, look at the ease of business that will come. More flights will start coming in. Let the flights anyway, we have
and everybody will earn out of it.
Of course. In the end, it always comes down to money by itself. You don't need to say money comes by itself if things are done properly. So I think there's a huge opportunity where travel tourism is concerned, and even the travel agents need to understand how to, sell certain destinations much better. It's not about now that
the regular itineraries.
No, that's all gone. Tourists now want experiences. They want local cultures. They want to learn about local cuisines. They want to. It's from farm to table. The wellness products have come in. So how do I really know what food am I eating? So and we are a huge country where farming is the main occupation. So it's so easy for us to get the farmers to on the table, the food what they are creating on the table, and how do we create it, how do we bring it, it's something that we need to look into it. And India is absolutely a vault of all experiences. We have heard it all while growing up. I think the young generation needs to also hear this, to understand how democracy came in properly, what happened, what were the struggles, what was freedom like for us. And even in those freedom fighting times, the homes still had their own culture. We stood up to our own culture, and how we, everything, what foods we used to eat are still the best. Suddenly we heard in G20 millets. We've been having millets throughout our lives.
Yeah.
Suddenly they became a craze, but just because it was
not
known properly to the. So I think these things need to come in front. The stories I used to hear as a lullaby, not a Jack and Jill, but a lullaby story which I used to hear about Rani Ki Jhansi or a story my grandmother used to tell me or my mother used to tell me about religious ones also, about Buddha also, are still inculcated into us. We still remember them, and there are so many things we know from our past which we can convert and make them stories of our lives and make it a beautiful destination to travel. So I think India has it's rich in everything. It's how we need to actually present it to the world to say, come, India is the country for tourism. And today everyone is looking at India as, India moves to being the third largest economy. There has been brain drain all our lives, and now we have the great brains working in our country. We multi-skilled because that's the way we are taught. We are very adaptive. We are very resilient. We adapt. Adaptation is the best way in India can happen. Indians go out and adapt themselves to all the countries. They speak German well, they speak French well. How many expats do you say when they come to our country start speaking Hindi well? None. But you see our Indians when they go, they may not know English, but they know the local language and they pick it up so quickly. So we are adaptable, and that is our strength, and that is why tourism and our people who are trained in tourism would be the winners of this world.
Such a very, very nice conversation with you. So I will apart from this and out of curiosity, out of curiosity that you've just put in that we can have a one instead of a one nation, we can have a one reserve, whatever it is. So have you spoken about this to the Indian government? Are they open for it, or it's just a thought that you've started circulating?
It's a thought that I started circulating it more than my own Indian country. I think there were other countries who were very favorable of that. Of course, India is a stronger country, so maybe it's not easy for them to look into our neighbors very easily. But I'm going to repeat this self. I don't mean neighbors only. Right. I mean, let's take make a border of ourselves and say, okay, which countries can we take in? Maybe we take in Southeast Asia. Maybe we can take in some parts of the eastern bloc of Europe. So wherever there are direct flights, the flights are not more than 4 hours. Those are the countries we should develop. Where, like I should say, during COVID time, when the flights were stopped, I went to Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri and I told him, I said, please open the borders, we are dying. So he said, COVID is coming, we can't do this. And I told him, I said, you are not going to be able to stop the COVID virus. He doesn't need a boarding card to travel. He doesn't need a visa to travel. He is going to come in without the flights or with the flights. So please open them and let people at least stand up for themselves and earn their bread and butter, because if they're not dying of COVID, they're dying of.
To be with their loved ones who are already out.
No, not only that, but would you want to die with a viral, or do you want to die of hunger? Were two things that were coming in front, because there were a lot of people, how they come from other cities to work in our country, they were told to go back. So the whole world struggled. It's not that it's not. And of course, what we went through was a nightmare at that time. It was really a nightmare. But no one could control the COVID as we did. Because as we wanted.
We helped others.
We helped others. We always do, and whatever they can say today, but we are the ones who help everyone.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of things that India should be looking at as being the leader, and not only commerce-wise, but I think tourism and bringing policies like this is something that India should look at very, very favorably.
So moving forward,
I know. I must have answered so many of your questions, so you can ask any what you like.
Okay, so next question was, over the last decade, how do you see India's tourism sector having evolved in terms of growth challenges and global positioning? I think you've already answered.
Yeah, but I think India's evolved beautifully. It's really now started. We were lacking in a lot of places earlier. The infrastructure has gone. It's awesome. Our infrastructure, the last mile connectivity, I think still needs to be looked into. But our main roads, and all that has been put by this government, I think is really good, and I appreciate actually our Prime Minister's vision, because I think he's very visionary when it comes to development. Of course, the entire team needs to work with him. So we have evolved in a lot of bringing up new destinations. We are now looking at 30 new destinations. So it's been announced as 50, but we are looking at the first ones, how to develop them. So, you know, the wetlands, how they can be done. We have so much of fauna, flora in our country which needs to be exploited, which is being done. And the best part that's now come out is that India, tourism is not only looked at, everything has to be done in the center. All states are waking up to it. So there's a lot of infrastructure developing in the states. They are doing their own marketing, they are doing their own road shows outside. Yes. They are getting people from outside, to come and visit the country, so they are doing their tie-ups. So that's the thing. India is a huge country, one person can't do it. So it's so nice that all states who are already now started working, and they are reaping the benefits. Yes. Some states are still not, but I think they need to get up. It's a wake-up call for them that they need to progress. And it's not only tourism moving up, but when tourism comes, infrastructure comes. When infrastructure comes, tourism comes. It's a win-win situation. Education goes up, skilling goes up, jobs go up. Everything the ecosystem does so beautifully and becomes very healthy. And this is what I've seen that it started happening. And you know, the best part is that if you are staying in a tier 2 or a tier 3 cities, you don't have to leave home and come to the major cities to work.
Right.
You stay with your family, you are happy with your family. You don't need to come and come to the bigger cities to work and leave home. And COVID, we saw that people couldn't go back. So they were struggling, they didn't have money, but they still couldn't go back. So I think it's so beautiful when tourism moves, when countries develop, and that is where we are. And I'm sure we will be reaching the 10%, investment from our tourism side to GDP. And we say that so often, and I say this, we were saying this yesterday also, if whatever Trump is putting on to us as high, we as tourism can only cover the entire thing if we are given certain policies and the ease of business.
What role has skill development played in this transformation, and how is your sector skill council contributing?
See, Tourism and Hospitality Skill Council is the only sector skill council under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. And I think we've really changed in the last 5 years. We have, like I said, we've changed all our qualification packs. We started with apprenticeship courses. We started the go-to-market process of education. It's not only about Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. We started deviating from that also because we thought we need to skill much more beyond that. And today we are very happy to see that we are doing skilling with private sector. We are doing under CSR. We literally skilled like 4 lakh children last year. Okay. So I think that's a huge thing. Starting from 30,000 or 20,000, we are to 4 lakhs, which is a huge thing. We are the only sector skill council which invested by ourselves to take out a skill gap study. And we got the top people in this country as consultants to come on board and do this for us, because we wanted to skill for the right reasons, not for the reason of just filling up numbers and getting them jobs. And you'll be very happy to know that us 80% children who are being skilled by us are getting jobs. Though it doesn't come under the purview of THSC, but we see that we are able to, with all the job melas that we are happening and we participating so much. And the largest thing is the first time in the last few years we've actually taken part in the World Skills, and we've won 11 medallions in the last 2 years, which says a lot for India. Absolutely. Our chefs have won. We have people winning outside in international competitions. I think that's a beautiful
and that's
feeling.
So early in their age.
Yeah. So it's a very nice feeling that we are doing all this, and we can skill the youth of tomorrow. So we have moved from all those degree courses also. We say degree is very good, but we've also brought in all this with schools. So I remember when the first meeting I had with the Secretary of Education, and I told him, why don't we give our children the opportunity to choose a subject in school? Why do you have to do the graduation first and then decide what to do? I don't need to be graduate or a postgraduate to be in tourism. tourism all the time. So why don't, and now we see that from 11th you can choose tourism as a subject.
And also, ma'am, sorry, I should not say this, but most of the successful travel agents of our country would not be
So
graduated
educated.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
you don't
would
need
be
it.
so good.
But why do you
They
also
understand actually
exactly
what the profession is all about. You
Yeah.
don't need to be very, very well educated.
You don't need to be a
It's,
postgraduate
as you
or
said,
a
that
doctorate.
it's a passion that you need to
Not
have.
only passion, but the point is why deprive your family and yourself of earning right when you can. So the apprenticeship courses are short-term courses. The RPM courses are, we are doing recognizing the prior learning courses and we are reskilling them. Those are the things that are needed today, you know, for tourism. And that's the reason I was very happy that actually we are working with all the government schools now, especially in all the states. Literally 24 states we are already working in, and we are in schools. Skilling them right from there, but otherwise also in the ecosystem we have been able to do that. You know, create these short-term courses, get them jobs. You know, because you don't, like we just said, they don't need the graduation, the post-graduation. We are not big engineers or doctors. We are travel tourism. We don't need to know destinations well. We need to have the passion for tourism. We need to see what experience we can deliver.
And it will come from the practical experience.
Yeah, you can imagine a tourist guide in a tier 2 city who doesn't need any education because he is born and brought up in that city or the village. So the village tourism has to move forward. I will go from Delhi to a particular village to understand the ecosystem and then try to tell the tourist that this temple was made at that time or this is road belongs to the sun era and someone great, some maybe the king has walked on this road. This is the story a localite has. So who can be a better tourist guide than them? And that is what we need to bring forward more and more, so that more jobs are created and the locals get more stronger. And that's vocal for local is that's the thing that our Prime Minister wanted. And this is what we need to indulge in. Museums, we have so many museums. We are trying to now say how can we connect the dots of museums to create one full journey for students could be for maybe for your course or for even the people who want to learn more. So there's a wealth of knowledge in this country, and that is what we need to bring out to showcase to the world, and that's what THSC is doing. We are trying to build wherever we can, whatever we can, to say we bring the best out. Our chefs are of course doing superly well, like I just said, they've just won so many awards outside. And the minister, and we are actually, last year we were rated as #1 as THSC as a sector skill council. So I think all those things go a lot, that we are doing a lot, we are doing a lot of work to see that we can skill. We also skilled with Ministry of Tourism 1 lakh students, out of which actually 90,000 and we've already got 60,000 jobs for them. So I think there's huge things that come to them, but yes, government also needs to look at it from a different point of view. I think some barriers of the government, the policies of the government need to change a bit more to see that we can drive much more success and productive, make it more productive in the going years.
So post-pandemic, what new skills have become critical for professionals in tourism and hospitality?
We saw soft skills made a lot were very important because your first impression is the last impression when you come into any country or travel anywhere yourself, also domestically. So how you actually welcome a person, how you treat them, how you lead them, and your interest in themselves. It's not just about checking someone in and telling them go to your room. It's not like that. And multi-skilling also came in a lot because they were, after COVID we saw everyone was running short on cash, so they didn't want to employ 10 people, so they wanted one person to do multiple jobs. So all that came, But as we now we've gone back and we're going back to our reality that we are okay now. Things are again changing, and World Organization says that, the UN says it very strongly that 97% jobs will be redundant in another 3 years. So 97% who are skilled today will be redundant. So we have to keep upscaling and again start doing the skilling again. So I think that is the change that we are seeing. It's quick learning, quick changes happening. Because the world is moving very quickly, experiences are changing, the way the youth is looking at travel is changing. Every day we hear a new word, every day we hear that now it's wellness, from wellness it becomes to Ayurvedic it becomes to yoga, then from yoga it becomes to spiritual to suddenly then the new word is, like I said, farm to table. I mean that's the latest experiential that what are you eating. So the wellness is also changing its name, the religion is changing its name. So everything while it's changing needs to be adapted. And of course, the biggest challenge is the AI, chat GPT, WhatsApp, all these which are happening, AR, VR, because everyone wants to now visit a place before they really visit it. So, I want to be sitting at home, seeing what I want to do in India,
Right.
or if I'm traveling to a state, what do I want to do? I visit the sites, I visit even the museum and then say, no, now I want to go and see it personally and see, because I know where it is, what it is, so it's easier for me to actually navigate also. So I think all this is coming in and this change will keep happening. AI is going to be changing so many jobs, It will be taking over a lot of our jobs, but that doesn't mean that our jobs go away. There will be many more new jobs created because of AI for us.
Yeah, right.
So people get very scared talking, should we come into this industry or not? And that's the first thing I tell the young ones when I go for a class with them, that don't ever be scared of challenges. Because it's your mind. AI can get into your mind, AI can see what you're doing, but what you're going to be thinking next, it can't tell you. That's your brain. So you need to keep thinking, you need to keep evolving, you need to keep looking into how the change should happen. And you are the ones who are going to feed the AI. The AI is going to be fed by you. So that is what it is, and I think even the robotics come in or anything comes in, we are always going to be, And lastly, which I always say where tourism is concerned, is tourism is totally about people to people connect. It's your emotions, it's your feeling, it's your experience. No robot can do it.
Yeah. And the memories that we take back.
Yeah, of course, that's what we go for it. And the memories that we go back also, the AI or the robot is not someone I would like to go and hug.
Yeah.
I would like to go and hug someone I can hug
Yeah.
and have that feeling. So I think that's what tourism is all about. I walk, I went go to the village, I sit down with the villagers to need to see what it is, that personal experience. What will a robot give me? Nothing. So AI, technology, everything is good for enhancement and for actually it doesn't give scope of negligence, it doesn't give scope of faults. Because what a chat GPT gives you a nickname today could be the best. So it is an enabler for you to pick up from those things, but put it to your client yourself to say how you can deliver it. Because that is what the last mile or the experience is going to come, because when you give that personal touch to your client. So I think those are things that we need to encourage more of the youth to understand, to say that this is what education is all about and this is what skilling will be required going in the future. Hospitality, already people have started saying, I don't want a robot to check me in. I want to see a face, a good-looking face as such, or someone who I can relate to. I don't want to speak to a robot and say, okay, it's okay till my curtains are going up by a remote control, it's fine. I walk in and the lights come out, it's fine. But when it comes to communication, I need a human brain. And you will see that a lot of these places where the robots are coming in, people have already started saying, it's very nice, it's very interesting to see it for the first time.
Yeah,
because it's very intriguing that, how do they operate? But I think after some time you say, no, I prefer talking to the person next to me.
Like being in a restaurant and ordering food.
Yeah. I know, I'm sure you'll take it down very well. But the point is, my eye-to-eye connect, my feeling with him, my normal chitter-chatter with him is different.
There is a kind of a reluctance, you can't talk anything and everything.
No, you may say you can talk. And he will give you a prim and proper reply, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm also looking for the small mistakes. I'm also looking for the small things that you overlook. It doesn't matter, because that's part of life. And that is what is going to make me grow tomorrow. If a robot is teaching me everything, I'm becoming a robot myself, and that's not what I want to be.
Minus all emotions.
So I think that is where the technology, everything is going. And we as an industry need to adapt it and learn from it. Data analysis is going to be another great thing that we will be needing going forward, because everything will be as per data, so that you don't waste your time, you get the best. So and even we need to learn from that which is the markets we should consider when it comes to India, what are their feeding food habits, what are their spend habits, which is all available. All these data are available, but we need to see how we can adapt them and put them into our own lives.
So how is the Sector Skill Council ensuring a balance between traditional Indian hospitality values and the adoption of digital and technological changes?
I've already said that actually. So we are adopting everything into our courses. So it's going very well, I think.
Inclusivity, okay. What steps are being taken to empower women and marginalized groups?
So we are doing a lot of courses for all the women. We've done a lot for marginalized groups also. We're trying to bring inclusivity into our education. As a matter of fact, we've already trained 500 women in this and got them jobs also. So that's a very good thing. We also went to THAAI jail to actually train nearly 700 of those people so that they can, they're all first time offenders of some law, some regulation where they have been in the jail for some time. I went personally to see that they were trained well. So we trained them all as per so that they could work in the hotels. And so we are still working on how they can come out, because they have to come out on a parole and go back. But it is a very very it's a feeling I get very satisfied when I see I could have done that. It's a very nice feeling that I got after doing that. I went and spoke to them. I met each one of them when they were having a class, and I spoke to them. It was, I mean, I literally, you get these goosebumps because you feel, these are things you need to do for the industry, society.
And that is, I mean, hats off to you that you are doing that, and training people who can come out from a payroll. But isn't it is a risk that?
No, it's not. I don't believe in it. That's why I trained them, because I feel.
Okay.
So I'm sorry to say this, but
so is there anybody who will be taking the responsibility that?
Yes, the jailer himself will take the responsibility. The police people will take the responsibility.
Okay, they are ready to do that.
Of course, they'll have to do it. Why won't they do it? I'll tell you a very small thing. When you apply for a job in a corporate, your background is checked. You always told to give 2 references.
Right.
But imagine a person who's behind bars for 6 months. His background is totally with the police. His with the jail, and his background. Well, not only by, they also know his great grandfathers by then. We may say something wrong and get away with it. They can't even do that. So the police and the authorities know everything about them. So I think they are the safest people, if you ask me. And you are actually giving them an opportunity to stand up tall again and not turn them into criminals. Because yes, there are challenges. I took a lot of hoteliers there to say, would you give them jobs?
Yeah.
A couple of them did have their own thought on that they can't be doing jobs because suppose they react tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I would put it the other way around. Today the youth reacts anyway. You look at the road rage that's come in front. You look at the way people are behaving on flights. You look at the way people are demanding in restaurants. If a normal human being can do that, what's wrong with them when we are training them? Firstly, they will be going and actually reporting to the local police station first, then going for the job. The police station will always have an eye on them because he has to go back to the jail, right? So his whole area is covered. But by giving him an opportunity to work with normal people and also sensitize the area and tell the hoteliers and the people that see that he's not, not taken emotionally said anything wrong to him. That is the learning that has to come for the ones who are going to be working with him, and also for him to be working with others. And if he feels that he's not really done anything wrong and he's given that support from the society, he will never go back to being a criminal, because if he's earning money, he will be able to stand up on his feet. So I think there's a lot of it which needs to go into the thought process to see how we can do it. Women empowerment, of course, I always say women need to be empowered much more in this industry, because even going down the jobs, I feel most of the women are working in back offices, or even if it's a travel agency, it's a pop and mom show, the man is in the front, the woman is behind. Most of it, and I see that everywhere. I had 3,000 members myself in TAAI, and other associations also I work with. I see they are not out there. It's a man who goes out. And in the hotels also, you say that women are still working, but if they're coming from tier 2 and tier 3 city, not especially tier 3 cities, the parents are very hesitant to send them to a hotel. You'll be in the hotel the whole night. The night bird actually gets them going. What is it that can happen in night and not in the day? So I think we need to educate our entire system of saying, and more the women come out, more the safe the country is going to be. Imagine women driving your cabs, your buses, which is happening now, but we need it more and more, because we still have limited women. But suppose there are 10 women out and 10 men out, they are equal strength, and that is what we need to put into the society. Of course, we need more of women associations and organizations to support. The support system should always be there. So there should be a lot of more things happening for women going forward. But I think there is a lot happening, but there can be some more things happening to make this world safe and the women to be safe. And of course, media. I think media is the first thing that should be looking into these things, that don't make everything news a sunny news. You know, be sensitive about the environment, be sensitive about, it's not only about women, it's a sensitivity of the ecosystem.
Right.
Every country goes through tourism not being safe. Lot of countries, you have much worse things happening than India does.
Yeah, they
But
don't put it on limelight.
they don't put it on the line. We
In
put it on
fact,
the limelight.
the most hyped destinations, I don't want to name the country in Europe. So
Europe, America, everywhere.
yeah,
You get mugged
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
your purse
anywhere,
gets snatched everywhere.
Yeah.
But here it becomes the news of the day.
Yeah,
Someone snatches your chain from your neck, the whole day is played. So even if someone has not heard it
like
in the
yesterday
morning.
they got somebody smoking on the way of food, so that became a very big news this morning.
Yeah, that's not a news at all, if you ask me.
Should not be.
So I think the media needs to play a very positive role to actually promote the country's image and the destination's image.
So true. With India aiming to be a global tourism hub, how important is aligning our workforce with international service standards? And you also see India emerging as a supplier of skilled tourism and hospitality professionals to the global market.
Yeah, so I think of course, like I said, Indians are everywhere, and I think, even when you go out, you find the Indians working the best. If I say that in many restaurants, I travel abroad so much. I see, you can from far see that it's the Indian, the way he's talking to people, the way he's helping you out, the way he does everything. So I think those skills need to be promoted more. And we do have, even from THSC, we've been able to send 400 children outside for global jobs.
Okay.
So we've already done a lot of UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, others. We've also been doing some Europe. So we're doing Thailand, we've been able to do it. So there are a lot of countries now looking for skilling. Indonesia is asking for us to skill. Even Singapore is asking us to skill. So we are going to be moving beyond just here for global opportunity. But like I say, that India is going to be the global hub. I think we should be the skilling hub also globally. So we should be the global skills center going forward, and that's what my aim is, that we should be moving in that direction.
Yeah, and looking at our population, I think definitely looking at that.
Our population is there, and I only say that Indians are the best. They are the most adaptable people, they are the most adaptable people, and they can work in all weathers, let me put it that way. You know, we are used to it, and we are very hardworking also.
Right, so we do work on Saturdays and Sundays.
Of course, we work 20 hours in a day and still smile about it.
Yes, yes.
Outside, if you go, and most of the European countries you go, they will just pack them and say, sorry, we can't do it.
Evening, they will not give you
Not only that, not only that, look at the airports. All the European countries shut their airports at night. Main thing why they did this, because no one wanted to work after. And look at our flights, they work round the clock.
You prefer to fly in the night so that you can be there in the morning and stuff.
Yeah, but even our airports are always open.
Yeah.
So I think we see that, and I think India is a country where we can actually create and skill a lot of many more people to go out, and that's why the whole world is now scared of Indians coming and getting their jobs.
So talking about sustainability, how is skill training being integrated with responsible and green tourism?
So we do it. So in our courses we do teach about sustainability a lot, and you know, even in schools and all the courses that are done on various universities and colleges, it has been given a lot of preference. So we are trying to educate the children what sustainability is, what no to plastics is. That you see even in the schools have started a lot on it. Green tourism, eco-tourism is all being coming, but we as an industry need to promote it now also, you know, and bring in practices, the best practices in all the institutions of like hotels and hospitality. It's not only about 5-star luxury hotels adopting something, it's about even each and every bed and breakfast needs to adapt it. I think those are the more things. Students will still be able to do it, and the youth today is anyway looking at sustainability. Recently there was a study that, you know, Emirates charges for the fuel, they are charging some extra percentage in the tickets they are adding it for sustainability. And the youth said, we are looking into all these things now, and we don't mind paying that extra dollar as long as it's going towards conservation or, you know, ecotourism or sustainability.
Yeah, because you can see our future.
We can see, and look at the way the weathers are changing, look at the way destruction is happening, and if we don't do it, we don't. We spoke about this earlier, but to repeat the words, that not here, that everyone goes to a five-star property thinking you need five-star service, and we actually tell them to change their linen every day and throw the towels on the floor every day because we want that luxury. But if you start thinking that, and I was told this by a very known hotelier, that one towel takes 23 buckets. So can you imagine the amount of buckets of water that you're wasting?
Yeah, yeah.
So do we really need to change our towel every day and our linen every day? No. But I think it should be incentivized.
Yeah.
I told her the same thing. I said you should start incentivizing it in the beginning, saying that if you do not change your towels every day and if you do not want your linen changed every day, we will actually give you certain amount of discount to say sustainability fund, like something like that, but we will give it to you back to say you are promoting sustainability. So it's not only about creating a sustainability fund, but it's also trying to, incentivize the person to say, get into sustainability mode and see how you benefit.
Yeah, that would be very great. In fact, I've noticed that five-star hotels have started doing
Yeah,
that, and
they put that.
Yeah,
They put that note.
Yeah.
But still, people don't adhere to it. You know certain things. Even your own family sometimes laugh at you when you start doing things. Like I remember when the sustainability started and we started saying conserve water, conserve water. So while brushing my teeth, I used to always started closing the tap, and everyone was laughing at me. Says, as if you are going to change the world. I said yes, but every step means a step. So how you have to tell your helpers at home to not waste water because they waste water the worst. They are the worst.
Yeah.
How we are actually filling tubs in the five-star hotels and having tub baths. So I think there are certain things. I'm not saying deprive yourself, but at least see that till what limit can you control it. Control the wastage. So there's a lot of things going. Even in I was in Hong Kong just last week, and I was at the international conference of investment in hospitality. So there was this huge topic about sustainability and how now hotels are actually picking up properties, building on this sustainable model. Not only constructing, Saudi of course is doing that in a big way, but not only constructing but also looking how the environment remains sustainable. So if you are creating a hotel in a tier 2 city, you need to look into the drainage of the entire village or the entire city that you are making a hotel, so that the localized don't get affected. And if you are building something, build it along it for them also, so they also know the best ways that there is a hotel coming into our vicinity. But even we are gaining from it, not only with jobs, but we are also getting the best drainage and the best sanitization because you are building there. When you are actually building something on the ground, look into the soil and see if you're not killing anything. There could be some species of birds or animals or worms living there. So how do you actually bring that sustainability? So there are a lot of things of sustainability that needs to go into it. It's not only about just the pollution or just green tourism. There's lots of it, and a lot of green tourism and green architecture is coming in this space. So I think all this will, and it has to happen quickly because it's no longer a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's something that's moving on ahead to going towards destruction of the world.
In fact, we've seen this year.
Yeah.
The kind of rains that
everywhere you see the droughts happening somewhere. Look at Europe is going into really dry. Everything is drying now. Look, and rains are happening in places where they never happened.
Yeah.
Look at the heat.
Punjab.
We had never heard of Europe having heat waves. Look at their heat waves.
Yeah.
Look at the winter. They are expecting in India to have the worst winter this year. So we were laughing about it in the morning. So it's not a laughable thing, but we are still saying, okay, doesn't matter. We wear 10 cardigans.
But it's going to change.
It's going to change.
It's a lot of illness also.
Yeah, of course, everything. More water clogging. Look at the diseases that come after it. No more viruses will come.
And the destruction of farming that has happened.
Yeah, it's so sad. So we need to change it. But let's hope that something can be driven out of it and we can quickly adapt these things.
What are the biggest challenges you face in bridging the skill gap, and what kind of policy support do you feel is most needed?
The biggest challenge, I think, and I'm only going to talk about the biggest challenges are many because, of course, you have to work with the government, so there are policies which are delayed. There are a lot of things that keep happening, money that is delayed. We've been skilling for the government but not getting the money on time. So all those things are happening which should not be, because when you're skilling one, and you're not paying on time, that means you're depriving someone of their hard work, whose skills. So I think these things need to be looked into. But the major thing that I feel is that children do not want to come into this industry. And that is the biggest challenge I think we have today, to lure the young ones to come into this industry. A lot of them go for the courses, but by the time they finish and by the time they get an offer and they are looked into, the salaries or the remuneration is looked into, they are not happy with it. And they get better paid as in a call center or somewhere else with lesser time of work. So that is what is depriving this industry of good people. Because, and also, and I appreciate that actually thought process that everyone wants to become an entrepreneur, which is very good. I think it's a huge jump that everyone wants to become an entrepreneur. But people who can't become entrepreneurs also need to learn that they need to start at the bottom and rise up. And there are a lot of successful stories around. We've seen all hoteliers, all travel agents who could have started somewhere or other, but they are where they are today. So it's not that you can just get onto the moon and on a rocket and go straight to the moon. So you have to start somewhere small. But yes, if their work is appreciated by everyone, if they are paid well, their timings are that they need to live a life also. Yes, they will always be willing to learn if it's substantiated in their own ways. But you need to respect their time and their life too. Because the young, it's not like old times all the time that we work 25/7. Women used to work the whole time at home. Now where are the women working at home? So you see the change happening in the entire ecosystem, the culture of the country, the growth of our country. But we need to also learn that, appreciate the talent and the education, and respect them for it.
Ma'am, I'm really surprised by what you said, that people don't want to come into this profession. In fact, according to me, today is a very high number of travel bloggers and Instagrammers who are only doing travel stories and.
So that's one aspect.
Yeah.
But they don't want to come into the hotels. They don't want to work in travel agencies.
So
there's shortage of staff everywhere because there is a shortage. Even the hotels are not paying up to the mark. There are very few hotels who pay them interns or even for the first jobs. See, today cost of living has gone up.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and everyone has their own aspiration.
Especially these people who get into skilling are the ones who have to support their
families also. And not only that, but everyone aspires for doing better in life. Everyone has the right to it.
Yeah.
It's not so we need to appreciate them. We need to actually acknowledge their work and pay them right, respect their time, respect their life. I think all this needs to be done, which I keep saying in my governing body also, because we have governing bodies all from the hotels and from other areas. But I think we are doing that and we are trying to make a push on that.
AI and automation and the hospitality, what advice would you give professionals? I think
I've already said that. Don't get scared of it, use it as an enabler, because you are not going anywhere.
So where do you envision India's tourism industry a decade from now?
Like we said, it's going to be the global hub, I think. We lost this opportunity many years ago. I remember when I joined this industry, and I still go back to it, we used to always say India is a beautiful country. And we had a great opportunity in 2000, 2004, 5, actually in those times, because I got more aware of tourism. And I realized that, India could have been the largest hub, connecting the East and the West. And there were a lot of people who used to come from west coast of America and go to the East, go to Europe or go to the East, and they had to transit through India. There were a lot of such airlines, which used to bring you to India, but they used to never get down in India. So, but this opportunity was taken away. Let's say Dubai took it from us, Singapore took it from us, Hong Kong took it from us. So we could have been the largest hub of this world, to connect the dots and make tourism happen and make it a layover country. Singapore did that. Singapore started with being a layover airport. Anyone going to America, South Africa, California or San Francisco, and they used to give you one, till the time you had there's always a connection 12, 15 hours. You used to get a visa, you used to give your passport to them, go out, come back. And they used to also give that hop and hop bus. They used to give you some freebies to go and have visit places, and then used to be on time. And that's how Singapore really started doing tourism. So these are the opportunities we lost. So it's time for us, and I said that during COVID time when our first virtual event happened, and I spoke to Mr. Ajit Singh was our Minister of Aviation. I said, this is a huge opportunity we've got again, because every dark clouding does have a silver lining. Please make India the largest hub. And I see that now we are still working towards it, but we've not been able to capitalize it. So I think we need to capitalize on these things to say how India can be, and believe you me, we have, like I've said it again, we have the capacity, the people, everything going for us to make it the largest tourism hub and also the largest and the best skilling hub of the world. And I really believe that, because we are the best teachers and we are the best learners.
So finally, what message would you like to give to young professionals aspiring to build their careers in this field?
I've said this all over, but I repeated that know your product is the first thing that should come in. Respect yourself first and also respect others. Because when you respect yourself and your others, it comes back to you and you respect yourself. So stand up for your rights, but remember that's always nice to work in this industry, to give back to the industry and also make your money. So create niche markets for yourself. Don't just jump into it because you see another travel agent or another hotel in bed. So create a niche market for yourself and then develop it, because today we again say tourism needs proper, I would say again, tourism is all about experiences. That experiences, there is no value, no cost, no fixed cost of an experience that you can give to a traveler. You name the price and you will get it as long as you experience it. And same thing with the hotels, create a difference between yourself and the next one. Because today it's not about staying in the 2 rooms on the most comfortable bed, sleeping on it's about what experience you are creating even within your environment or even within your hotel. So I think we need to see that, and of course remember that we belong to a country where we've always been respectful. I think that's what we need to stand up for it and be different from the youth of the world.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. It was wonderful
Thank you.
having you.